The rain came down in sheets, cold and unrelenting, soaking through my coat as I stood alone at Lila's funeral. My daughter. My everything. The funeral home's awning sagged under the weight of the storm, dripping icy water onto the steps where I lingered, unwilling to step inside. The world felt wrong without her, tilted, like a ship taking on water. I clutched the program in my hand, Lila's name printed in delicate script, the paper wilting in the damp. Lila Marie Harper, 20100202. 5. Too young. Too soon. I forced myself through the double doors. The air inside was heavy with the scent of lilies and polished wood, but it couldn't mask the emptiness. Rows of chairs stretched before the casket, pristine and untouched. The front row, reserved for family, mocked me with its vacancy. No one had come. Not Margaret, my mother, who'd called Lila's funeral a minor conflict. Not Claire, my sister, who'd texted a single word, "okay," when I told her Lila was gone. Not even Nathan, Lila's father, who'd vanished years ago like smoke. Just me, Elena Harper, standing in a room that felt like a tomb for more than just my daughter. Photos of Lila lined the walls, a makeshift shrine to her 16 years. There she was in her spacesuit costume, grinning at a Halloween party, her eyes bright with dreams of comets and stars. Another showed her blowing out birthday candles, chocolate frosting smudged on her cheek. I traced the edge of one frame, my fingers trembling. She'd been so alive, so full of plans, her sketchbook stuffed with drawings of celestial orbits, her voice bubbling with facts about meteor showers. Now she was gone, stolen by leukemia, that moved faster than any of us could run. I checked my phone again, rereading Claire's text. Okay, one word, like Lila's life was a footnote. I could still hear Margaret's voice from yesterday, chirping over the phone about Claire's yacht party, her tone light as if she were discussing brunch. It's a big deal, Elena. Claire's launching her startup. The funeral's just bad timing. Bad timing. My daughter's death was an inconvenience to them. I shoved the phone back in my pocket, my chest tight with something sharper than grief. Rage, maybe. Or betrayal. The officiant approached, a kind man in a black suit, his voice soft. "Would you like to begin, Miss Harper?" I nodded, though I wanted to scream that it wasn't right, that Lila deserved more than this hollow ceremony. I sat in the front row, alone, the empty chairs beside me like ghosts. The officiant spoke of Lila's courage, her love for the stars, but his words blurred into the rain's steady drum against the windows. I kept seeing her face, pale and thin in those final days, her hand gripping mine as she whispered, "Don't let them take everything, Mom." What did she mean? I hadn't asked, too consumed by her pain, her monitors, her fading pulse. Now it gnawed at me, a puzzle I couldn't solve. Lila had always seen things I didn't, patterns, truths, like the orbits she sketched with such precision. Had she known something about Margaret? About Claire? The thought lodged in my mind, sharp and insistent. The service ended and I drove home through the storm, the wipers barely keeping up with the deluge. Seattle's streets glistened under streetlights, the city indifferent to my loss. I turned onto the coastal road, Puget Sound a dark expanse to my left. My hands tightened on the wheel as I replayed Margaret's call, her casual dismissal of Lila's funeral. Then Claire's voice, sharp and unapologetic on speaker. "Lila's gone. I'm alive. I need this party. Need." As if her yacht party was oxygen and my daughter's memory was expendable. I pressed the brake to slow for a curve, but the pedal sank to the floor, lifeless. My heart lurched. I pumped it again. Nothing. The car sped up, tires slick on the wet road, the guardrail looming closer. Puget Sound waited below, black and hungry. I yanked the wheel, swerving just in time, the car skidding to a stop on the shoulder. My breath came in gasps, my hands shaking as I gripped the wheel like it could anchor me to reality. A mechanic later confirmed what I feared. The brake lines were cut, clean, deliberate slices, Someone had wanted me to crash, to disappear into the sound like a bad memory. I stood in the repair shop, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, and felt the world shift again. This wasn't an accident. Someone was targeting me, someone who knew where I'd be, who had access to my car. Margaret? Claire? Or someone else entirely? Back home, I walked into Lila's room, the air still carrying her scent, lavender and pencil shavings. Her comet sketches covered the walls, each one a testament to her brilliance. I sank onto her bed, clutching one of her notebooks, its pages filled with equations and dreams. "I won't let them take everything," I whispered, echoing her words. I didn't know who they were, not yet, but I felt the weight of her warning. Our life was slipping away, and I had to fight to take it back. I called James Kessler, my attorney, the next morning. His voice was steady, grounding. "The waterfront mansion is still in your name, Elena. Your grandmother's trust insured it." Relief flooded me, but it was short-lived. Kessler's tone darkened. "There's something else. Monthly transfers of $3,500.00 have been going to Margaret for years, even during Lila's chemo. And there's a $65,000.00 loan for a Tesla co-signed in your name. Margaret's signature is on the documents, but you never signed." The betrayal cut deeper than the rain. Margaret had been siphoning money while Lila fought for her life, while I sold my car to cover medical bills. I stared out at the mansion's view of the Sound, the home Lila loved, and felt a fire kindle in my chest. They thought they could bleed me dry, erase me. They were wrong. Then I saw Claire's post on social media, a video from her yacht party, her laughing in a designer dress, the caption taunting, "New home, new me, family first." New home. The words hit like a slap. Was she planning to take the mansion? Lila's home? My home? I scrolled through the comments, strangers cheering her on, oblivious to the funeral she'd skipped, the sister she'd abandoned. Kessler's next words pulled me back. "There's something else, Elena. Your grandmother left a second will. It's complicated. It might change the inheritance, but I need time to verify it." A second will. Another secret, another thread to unravel. Before I could process it, the doorbell rang. I opened it to find Nathan, Lila's father, standing there, his face lined with guilt and something heavier. "I'm sorry, Elena," he said, his voice rough. "I should have been here, but I have something, proof. Margaret's been scheming for years." I stared at him, the man who'd left us, now back with promises of evidence. Could I trust him? Did I have a choice? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed with a notification. A video, shared across social media, doctored to show me screaming at a client, wild-eyed and unhinged. It was fake, but it was viral, and it was Claire's doing. My job as a security consultant, already precarious, teetered on the edge. My reputation, my contracts, my future, all at risk. The rain kept falling outside, a relentless reminder of the funeral, of Lila's empty chairs. But something shifted in me, a resolve as hard as the cliffs overlooking the Sound. Margaret and Claire thought they could break me, steal what was mine, erase Lila's memory. They didn't know who they were dealing with. I was Elena Harper, Lila's mother, and I would fight for her, for us, with everything I had. The storm was just beginning. I stood in the kitchen, the weight of Nathan's words still sinking in. He sat across from me, his hands clasped tightly, a manila envelope between us. "Margaret's been playing a long game," he said, his voice low. "I found emails, bank records. She's been draining you since Lila was diagnosed." I wanted to scream, to throw something, but I forced myself to listen. Nathan had been gone for years, a ghost who'd left when Lila was 6, chasing some dream of freedom. Now he was back, claiming redemption, and I didn't know whether to trust him or slam the door in his face. "Show me," I said, my voice sharper than I intended. He slid the envelope toward me and I opened it, my fingers unsteady. Bank statements, highlighted in yellow, showed transfers to Margaret's account. $3,500, 0 cents every month, like clockwork. There were emails, too. Margaret to Claire talking about securing the estate and keeping Elena distracted. One line burned into my mind. She's too busy with Lila to notice. They'd counted on my grief, my exhaustion, to blind me. They'd been right. Until now. Nathan leaned forward, his eyes searching mine. There's more. Claire's startup? It's a front. She's funneling money through it, and Margaret's helping. I think they're after the mansion. The mansion? Lila's home, where she'd spent hours sketching in the attic, where we'd watched meteor showers from the deck. The thought of Claire's hands on it, her smug, family first caption, made my blood boil. I stood, pacing to the window. The sound stretched out, gray and restless, mirroring the churn in my gut. Why now, Nathan? Why come back? He flinched, and for a moment I saw the man who'd loved Lila, who'd built her a telescope when she was 5. I owed her, he said quietly. I failed her. I won't fail you. I didn't trust him, not fully, but I needed allies. Claire's viral video was already costing me. My phone buzzed with an email from my biggest client, a tech firm I'd secured for years. We're concerned about the recent publicity. Please address this immediately. My stomach dropped. My career, my lifeline, was slipping through my fingers, and Claire knew it. She was dismantling my life piece by piece. I turned back to Nathan. What's your plan? He hesitated, then pulled out a USB drive. Claire's emails. I hacked her account. She's planning to sell the mansion. Illegally. There's a buyer lined up, some investor. I just need time to trace them. Hacking, of course. Nathan had always been good with tech. Too good. It's what pulled him away from us, chasing contracts overseas. Now it might save us. Before I could respond, my phone lit up with a news alert. A local blog had picked up Claire's video, spinning it into a story. Local security consultant loses control, threatens clients, lies, but they were spreading like wildfire. I imagined Claire on her yacht, toasting her victory, while I stood in Lila's home, fighting to hold on. I opened my laptop, my fingers flying across the keys as I drafted an eviction notice. The mansion was mine, and Claire's lease, signed when she'd begged to crash here last year, was up. I'd give her 48 hours to get out. Nathan watched me, a flicker of admiration in his eyes. You're not backing down. I met his gaze, my voice steady. They took Lila's funeral. They won't take her home. I hit send on the notice, the click of the keyboard like a gunshot. Claire would fight back. I knew it. She'd already cut my brakes, smeared my name. What was next? I didn't know, but I felt Lila's presence in the room, her comet sketches watching over me. Don't let them take everything, Mom. That night, I couldn't sleep. The mansion creaked around me, its old bones settling. I kept seeing those empty funeral chairs, hearing Claire's voice. I'm alive. I need this party. I checked the security cameras I'd installed years ago, a perk of my job. The feeds were clear, but something felt off, a prickle at the back of my neck. I grabbed a flashlight and checked the garage, my heart pounding. The smell hit me first. Gasoline, sharp and acrid. A rag, soaked and discarded, lay near the wall. Someone had been here, trying to burn it all down. I called the police, my voice shaking but firm. Detective Ortiz arrived, her eyes sharp as she surveyed the scene. You've got enemies, Miss Harper, she said, bagging the rag. Any guesses? I didn't hesitate. My sister, Claire, maybe my mother, Margaret. Ortiz raised an eyebrow but didn't argue. She knew the type, family who'd sell you out for $1 and a smile. By morning, the story had shifted. Lila's teacher, Mrs. Grayson, posted online about the funeral, her words cutting through the noise. I saw Elena Harper stand alone for her daughter, while her family partied. Shame on them. A hospice nurse followed, sharing a photo of me at Lila's bedside, my face etched with grief. The tide was turning, slowly, But Claire wouldn't go quietly. I knew her. She'd escalate, and I had to be ready. Kessler called again, his voice cautious. "The second, Will. It's real. Your grandmother left a clause. If Margaret or Claire violate the family trust, the estate reverts to you. All of it." My breath caught. The mansion, the accounts, everything. It was a lifeline, but it came with a target on my back. Claire and Margaret would fight dirty to keep their hands on it. I glanced at Nathan, who was poring over his laptop, chasing Claire's investor. "Find them," I said. "Whoever's backing her, they're part of this." As I hung up, I noticed a black SUV parked across the street, its windows tinted. It had been there too long, watching. My security instincts kicked in. I snapped a photo of the license plate and sent it to Ortiz. Claire's investor, whoever they were, was closing in. The rain had stopped, but the storm was far from over. I locked the doors, checked the cameras, and sat in Lila's room, her sketches my armor. This was my fight now. For her. For us. And I wouldn't lose. The days blurred into a haze of strategy and survival. I served Claire's eviction notice in person, driving to the marina where her yacht was docked. She stood on the deck, her hair perfect, her smile venomous. "You're pathetic, Elena," she said, tossing the notice into the water. "This is my home now." I didn't flinch. 48 hours, Claire, then you're out." Her boyfriend, a tech bro named Derek with a rap sheet for assault, loomed behind her, his eyes cold. I memorized his face. He'd be trouble. That night, I woke to glass shattering. My heart raced as I grabbed the baseball bat I kept by the bed. The cameras showed Derek in the attic, stuffing Lila's sketches into a bag. I called 911, my voice steady despite the fear. Ortiz's team arrived fast, cuffing him as he tried to flee. Claire spun it online, claiming I'd overreacted. But the truth was spreading. People were starting to see her for what she was. Margaret showed up the next day, her face a mask of fake tears. "We're family, Elena. Stop this." I shut the door in her face. Family didn't steal $200,000 0 cents, like Nathan had uncovered, or co-sign loans in my name. Family didn't skip a child's funeral for a party. I upgraded the mansion's security, military-grade cameras, a biometric lock. No one was getting in again. Then came the arson attempt. The cameras caught Claire sneaking into the garage, a gas can in hand. Firefighters put out the flames before they spread, but the message was clear. She'd burn it all down before letting me win. Kessler filed restraining orders, and Ortiz promised to watch Claire closely. But the black SUV kept appearing, tailing me on my runs, parked near my office. Nathan traced the plates to a shell company, likely Claire's investor. Whoever they were, they had money and motive. The pressure kept mounting. Margaret sent a cryptic text. "Drop this, or I'll tell everyone about your failures." She meant my past, the deals I'd botched early in my career, the ones I'd buried. If she leaked them, my clients would bolt. I couldn't let her win. Nathan's hack into Claire's email revealed her endgame. She'd forged documents to sell the mansion, claiming I was unfit. The buyer, her mysterious investor, who'd funneled millions into her startup. I sat in Lila's room, her sketches my anchor. The second will, Nathan's evidence, the community's support. It was enough to keep fighting. Claire and Margaret had underestimated me, but I was done playing their game. I'd protect Lila's legacy, her home, her memory. The SUV was still out there, the smear campaign still raging, but I felt Lila's strength in me. Don't let them take everything. I wouldn't. Not now. Not ever. The church basement smelled of stale coffee and grief, the support group's circle of tired eyes pulling me in. I gripped Lila's notebook, her comet sketches peeking out, and spoke. My daughter, Lila, was 16. She loved stars, fought leukemia, died alone. Her funeral, empty. My family, my mother, Margaret, my sister Claire, chose a yacht party. Murmurs rippled. I shared the empty chairs, Claire's okay text, Margaret's bad timing excuse. I didn't mention the cut brakes or the gasoline rag, but I echoed Lila's last words. Don't let them take everything. I'm fighting for her, I said, voice breaking. A mother squeezed my hand. You're not alone. I clung to that. Driving home, I decided the mansion, Lila's sanctuary, wasn't mine anymore. Claire's schemes, Margaret's greed, they'd tainted it. I'd donate it to a pediatric cancer charity, make it an art center for kids like Lila, painting comets. I called Kessler, my attorney. Bold move, he said, but Claire's coming for you. I knew it. Her family-first yacht post still stung. She'd fight for the mansion, and I'd be ready. Then came Claire's lawsuit. Emotional distress. $100,000. 0 cents. A legal gut punch to drain me. My hands shook reading it. She was weaponizing the courts, betting I'd crack. Kessler promised to counter, but the costs loomed. The viral smear video, the arson attempt, the black SUV tailing me. Claire was tightening the noose. In Lila's room, seeking solace, I found a letter in her sketchbook. Mom, Claire said I was a burden, you'd be better without me. She came to the hospital. I didn't tell you, I'm sorry. My knees buckled. Claire hadn't just skipped Lila's funeral, she'd tormented her. Rage burned through my grief. Ortiz called. Claire's investor? Organized crime, money laundering, extortion. That SUV's his. Watch yourself. My stomach twisted. The investor wasn't just rich, he was dangerous. Were the brakes, the fire, his doing? I had no time to process. In a parking garage, 2 goons cornered me. Drop the eviction, one snarled. My negotiator instincts kicked in. Claire's finished. Tell your boss he's backing a loser, and grabbed me. I twisted free, taking a punch to the ribs. Bruised but alive, I drove home, locking the biometric door. The media pounced next. News vans swarmed, headlines screaming, grieving mom's feud destroys family. My client's email was icy. We're reconsidering. My career teetered. Margaret crashed the support group, shrieking, You're ruining us, Elena. I stood firm. You stole from me, skipped Lila's funeral. Leave. She was escorted out, her desperation a clue. She was hiding something. Kessler dropped a bombshell. The second will's real. Your grandmother meant the mansion for Lila's future. It's yours if Claire or Margaret violate the trust. Lila's future. The donation felt right. Ortiz called again. Claire's arrested. Arson, fraud. Your cameras nailed her. Relief hit hard. Claire was cuffed at her yacht, her empire crumbling. Donations flooded Lila's charity. $50,000. 0 cents overnight. Fueled by Mrs. Grayson's photo, the nurse's photo, my speech. At Claire's hearing, I held Lila's letter and testified. She tormented my dying daughter, stole, tried to burn our home. The courtroom hushed. Claire's smirk faded. Restraining orders barred her and Margaret from me. The charity took the mansion, planning the Lila Harper Art Center, comets on its walls. Nathan joined the board, redeeming himself. The hospital hired me to lead art therapy statewide, honoring Lila's creativity. Claire's influencer career tanked, sponsors fled. Margaret, exposed, was shunned. I painted my new apartment teal, hung Lila's sketches. A neighbor's kid left a comet drawing for Lila's mom. My support group grew, a haven for grieving parents. Ortiz confirmed the investor's arrest. His crime ring gone. At Lila's grave, I left a glow-in-the-dark sticker. You made me fierce. A news article lauded my strength, and my client renewed my contract. The art center opened, Lila's comets glowing. On my porch, I watched stars, rooted. In Lila's sketchbook, I found her last drawing. Mommy's my hero. Tears fell, warm. I hosted a stargazing night for the group, telescope skyward, Lila's love binding us. The storm was over. I'd fought, won, for her, for us.